Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. That's Lower Alabama to you that don't know the difference. And of course, we're glad to have you with us today on a Tuesday, May the 15th. And of course, we're moving right along towards summertime. Already graduation at Troy University. Pike Liberal Arts will graduate soon. Charles Henderson will graduate soon. And the school year for 2017-18 will be over, and there'll be all kinds of graduates going out and enjoying a wonderful summer before they go off to hopefully college or go off to a military or whatever their endeavors are. We wish you the best of luck in everything you do. Of course, I want to mention at the top of the show, we've got a great guest coming in this morning. Alan Ponder, the head baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts School, is going to be our guest this morning at 7:15. So call all the folks that you know, and you girls find out when he's going to be here, and come meet him at the door when he comes in. Of course, Alan Ponder, a very outstanding young coach that has taken Pike Liberal Arts baseball to its highest place in this part of the country, and a state championship with a big best 2 out of 3 or best 2 wins against Glenwood Academy of Phoenix City for the state championship. And also another thing we want to celebrate is Alan Ponder was recently, this past weekend, inducted into the Auburn University Montgomery Hall of Fame, which is also a tremendous compliment to his coaching and more than anything, his ability as a baseball player. He was an outstanding high school baseball player at Lee Scott Academy in Auburn, Opelika. Went on to Alabama and played at Alabama before he got injured, and then he transferred to AUM, where he became almost like a legend as a pitcher for the AUM team that won a lot of ball games. In fact, I want to say he hit 27 home runs in 2 years. We'll find out more about those stats when he comes on our show. But again, quite an honor for Coach Alan Ponder as being inducted into Hall of Fame at a very young age. And of course, AUM very well respected in the baseball circles, and Coach QB Lowe is a legendary coach. And for him to go into the Hall of Fame at that age, that was really something. After leading his team to the state championship Wednesday in Montgomery, Pike Liberal Arts head coach Alan Ponder had more reasons to celebrate the weekend when he was returned to Montgomery to be inducted in the Auburn University Montgomery Hall of Fame. And of course, he said it was a tremendous honor. Ponder, a member of the 2017 Hall of Fame class, was joined by other inductees at a ceremony on Saturday. We had a banquet on Saturday, and they had a Hall of Fame induction from the class of 2016 and the class of 2017, and it was quite an experience. Ponder finished his career at AUM, ladies and gentlemen, with a .363 batting average, 31 home runs, 133 runs batted in at the time of his induction. Ponder's 31 home runs was the third most in program history. The RBI ranked 4th, and his doubles ranked 5th. But ladies and gentlemen, he played only 2 years. He did all of this in 2 years at AUM, and on the mound, Ponder finished with a 9-1 record with a career ERA of 2.28. And of course, congratulations. Troy and Auburn go at it tonight, 6 o'clock from Riddle Pace Field. That should be a great game. Troy and Auburn, and of course Troy now ranks 40th overall in APR rankings, which that indicates that they're in the running for a NCAA bid, and we hope that a win tonight over a very good Auburn team and a sweep maybe this weekend of South Alabama in Troy, which is going to be a great series for all of you baseball fans. You just go ahead and buy your tickets now, because that's going to be a great series between South Alabama starting on Friday night, and they'll have another game on Saturday and Sunday. But it just doesn't get any better than that. Troy's own Joey Dennison is one of the top players in the country right now. I think he's got the second highest batting average in the nation right now, and that's Division I. And of course, he's having a great year. He has something like I want to say he's got 60. All right, the other night. Well, let's see what he's moving in on. The RPI Troy is looking at is 43, which is one spot, moved up one spot since last weekend's sweep of University of Louisiana Monroe. The Trojans finished second, their second conference sweep of the year, and I think their final conference schedule total wins were 11-4, so they really did well. Dennison was 11 for 15 and 733 batting average this past weekend, with 9 RBIs, 6 runs scored, 4 walks, 2 doubles, 2 stolen bases in 4 games. Dennison and Matt Sanders hold a firm league in the top spots in hitting, with a 401 and a 464 average. So Dennison's batting 401 right now. Sanders, who leads the team in runs scored, is 1 run scored away from a school record, and he's number 2 in the nation right now in runs scored. So a lot of good baseball, and Lockridge and Early and all these guys are playing wonderful baseball for Troy. They're getting great pitching from Crane, their starter, and Oglesby, and right now Troy is playing on all cylinders. But a huge game tonight. Bring your family out. Get out there early and tailgate and enjoy a wonderful afternoon as Troy goes head-to-head with the Auburn Tigers tonight at 6 o'clock. Of course, I want to mention too that the Troy University National Alumni Association will be hosting a hot dog party as you go into the stadium. If you're a member of the Alumni Association, you get free hot dogs and hamburgers and cold drinks right when you walk in the stadium to the right. So get there early and have supper with us if you're a member of the Alumni Association. If not, it's be a great time to join the Alumni Association. With this being May, it's a big time of the year for people to join the Alumni Association. Remember, if you join the Alumni Association, you eat free at every tailgate party during the football season, home and away. And that's a big savings right there to you. And also, you get 20% off at Barnes & Noble's bookstore. Now, this is 20% off year-round. So if you're a member of the Alumni Association, you get a lot of amenities that go with it, plus you're supporting your university, Troy University, and we're excited about where it's going right now. Troy Cable's Spring Football Classic starts tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Troy Cable, 6 o'clock kickoff from Veterans Memorial Stadium. The annual Troy Cable Football Classic pits the Charles Henderson High School Trojans of Troy against Early County High School of Georgia. So that will be quite a game as Charles Henderson plays Early County, Georgia, and that's right there in South Georgia. And that game starts at 6 o'clock. It'll be a good opportunity to get out and see this Charles Henderson team for 2018 as they finish out their spring with a spring jamboree. There are going to be 5 games or 15 teams in the football classic, making it the largest football classic in Alabama. The Golden Eagles of Goshen play on Thursday, the 17th. They'll take on Pleasant Home beginning at 3 o'clock. That's on Thursday. And of course, Bart Snyder looking forward to that. Luverne will take on Hopeville to close out the day at 6 p.m. On Thursday. Greenville and Choctahatchee High School of Fort Walden will begin the day on Friday at 3 p.m. with Enterprise taking on Stanhope Elmore at 6. Saturday's schedule features, how about this, Hoover of Birmingham and Brookwood of Georgia at 6 o'clock are just some of the games that we'll be talking to you about later on. In fact, let me go ahead and finish it right here. Here's your schedule of all the games to be played right now. On Wednesday, tomorrow night at Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Troy, Charles Henderson of Troy plays Early County, Georgia, 6 o'clock. That'll be just one game. On Thursday, there'll be two games, sponsored by Troy Cable. There'll be Goshen against Pleasant Home at 3 o'clock on Thursday. And at 6 o'clock, the Luverne Tigers go up against the Hopeville Bulldogs at 6 o'clock. So Luverne will play at 6 o'clock on Thursday. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. Good morning.
Hi, morning. What's up?
Where are you calling from?
Vestavia Hills, Mount Brookline.
All right, Birmingham area. Is that right? Good to have you this morning. We're talking about this big, huge jamboree coming to Troy, and we're waiting. Right after this, we'll be talking to Alan Ponder, Mike, the coach of the year in my book.
Yeah, I'll see a bunch of those guys down in Edgewater, down at the beach for the private school meetings down around Memorial.
Well, he didn't tell me he was fixing to go to the beach, but we'll hit him on it in a minute. Mike, I'm going over
all the coaches will be down there at Edgewater Resort. You remember back when we were in high school? That's when we'd have like Neil Armstrong and all those guys chaperone us when we were like in high school.
Yeah. Well, Neil's going to help do some of these ball games with us. In fact, he'll be working with me on the Charles Henderson Early County game. All these games will be live on Troy Cable, Mike.
I tell you what, Early County used to have a really good program. I don't know how they've been in the last few years, but I remember growing up, there's a lot of good players out there.
They still do, no question about it. And also, I want to mention,
is this the night Troy finally beats an SEC team in baseball tonight?
Well, I sure hope so.
They've lost three times by one run each time.
Do you know right now Troy is 43 on the APR, which is pretty good. And but they need to win some games.
APR or RPI?
RPI, whatever you call it. RPI. I'm glad you're there to set me straight. RPI. But it is going to be a big game tonight. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll fill the ball field. You'll feel
I think it's going to be a huge crowd. They're saying a little bit of rain here in Birmingham. What's the weather down there supposed to be?
I don't know, but rain doesn't have much effect on Troy games because there's no real grass on the field.
Yeah, Troy's been dominant in midweek games throughout the year. The only games they've lost are to Auburn, Mississippi State, and Alabama. So.
Yeah, exactly. Let me finish running down these games. Of course, Goshen Pleasant Home on Thursday at 3. Luverne at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. All these games played at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Friday, you got a big doubleheader. Greenville against Choctahatchee High School of Fort Walden. Then at 6 o'clock, the Enterprise Wildcats go up against the Mustangs of Stanhope Elmore. That's a 6 o'clock game on Friday. And on Saturday, we got 3 games, Mike. You might be familiar with a few of them. Wetumpka and Robert E. Lee High School at 11:30. Opelika and Niceville, Florida play at 3 Saturday. And Hoover and Brookwood, Georgia play at 6. All these games played at the Veterans Memorial Stadium, their new stadium where I don't know if the new scoreboard will be on or not, but I would think they might try to do that. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, Hoover's coach runs about 15 miles a day, so you might see him running around Troy before the game.
Well, Pike Liberal Arts does something, boy. He looks like Hercules sitting over here. We're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen.
That's going to be fun for Brian Blackman, the Troy coach. He played at Robert E. Lee, and then he coached at Opelika all those years. So I'm sure he'll be enjoying seeing some of those games.
If they allow him to go, you know, the rules now are just so stringent. You know, hopefully they'll allow him to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Ponder, the head baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts School, is our guest, and we'll be with him right after these messages.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
All right, back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. With us today, this morning, Alan Ponder, the head baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts School, and wins the state championship. My friend, good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is your life, Alan Ponder. I mean, this thing is unreal. You win a state championship against some very good competition, and now this past Saturday he goes into the AUM Hall of Fame in Montgomery, and which is also a great honor. I'll shake your hand one more time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike, can you ever remember a younger guy going into a Hall of Fame?
Man, not too many guys. I know Troy's had a few guys that have gone in that just finished playing in the NFL. So
I know it, but
I know you played for a great coach there at QV Lowe.
I did. QV is a legend. He's a legend. He's done it right for a long time, and he's now enjoying his retirement.
I was looking at some of these stats, and we'll talk about this a little bit up front on this Hall of Fame. You just played 2 years. You graduated from Lee Scott Academy in Auburn, Opelika.
That's right.
Had a very well-known career there for a long time. In all sports, you played all sports. Mm-hmm. And then when you decided to go to college, Alabama, you signed with Alabama as a pitcher. Is that
That's right? Yes, sir.
All right. Now you were a pitcher, and you in 2 years went 9-1 and had an ERA or something like 2.2 or something, which you were phenomenal. But you also hit 31 home runs.
That's right.
He hit 31 home runs, Mike, and I've got more stats than that, which made you one of the top hitters to ever come out of AUM. What an honor! Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Very humbling honor.
Now, did that surprise you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
AUM's baseball program is one of the best around.
That's right. That's right. And I had a good 2 years there. I can attribute a lot of that to Coach Lowe.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I like statistics. Of course, Ponder finished his career at AUM with a .363 batting average. He had 31 home runs and 133 runs batted in. At the time of his induction, Ponder's 31 home runs was the third most in program history, and you did it in just 2 years, which was unreal. Ben, what kept you out of the major leagues?
Oh, I'm telling you, I got a little bit later start than most people did. When I got drafted, I was I think 24 years old, and I went and played. I went and played for a year, and at that point, I figured I thought it was time to give it up. I thought it was time to give it up and start living life. And I knew that I wanted to be a coach, and I thought if I wanted to work in that profession, it was time to get started.
Yeah. Well, the best thing that ever happened to Pike Liberal Arts School is he married a Troy girl. Tell us who you married. Grab that mic right there and just sort of hold it right now, or put it on your lapel when you get a chance. We're picking you up right here.
Okay.
But of course, a lot been going on, and of course, you married a Troy girl. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yes, I did. Very blessed to have met Mary Vance Ventress at the time, and I met her when I was working at Lakeside in Eufaula, and one thing led to another, and I'm very fortunate. She is definitely my better half.
And while you mentioned Lakeside of Eufaula, I want to mention that the legendary coach Jack Powell died. He was 96 years old. I'm sure you knew who Jack Powell was. The legendary basketball coach at Eufaula, and coached all those great teams at Eufaula High School over the years. But 96 years old, and he was active all the way up to the very end.
That's right.
So, I want to mention that while we were talking. Of course, how does it now? You started your career at Lakeside, which was a huge rival with Pike.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you there?
I was there for 2 years.
And then got the opportunity to come to Pike and actually come in after a legend. No question in my mind that the field's named after him, and of course, tell us who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Mike Butch Austin.
Butch Austin,
absolute
my fault. I always remember Butch Austin. But replacing a legend like Butch Austin wasn't easy, was it?
That's very tough. That's very tough. He's done it. He did it right for so many years and was so successful. So, coming in and taking his spot or taking his place, and after he retired, very, very tough shoes to fill. And we've worked really hard to keep the legacy that he started.
Yeah. How many years now at Pike?
It's my fourth
year, and of course it was your best year ever.
So did you see signs early on when you first got to Pike that these kids, this senior class is going to be pretty special?
Absolutely. I had these kids. I was able to coach these kids in junior high basketball, and this group of seniors just had an unbelievable competitive spirit about them, and they had a great will to win and wanted to work extremely hard to get there and to reach their goals. And we saw that from early on, and it ended up happening in their senior year. And the thing about it is, it could have happened a lot earlier. We had opportunities, just couldn't quite get it done. But I knew that these kids were not going to leave without making their mark, and they did a great job of that.
Of course, you did it with four seniors, only four seniors, the Jenwright twins, Reed and Wood, and Nathaniel. You brought in Nate Renfro and Kason Murphy, four outstanding seniors.
That's right. Had a great group of seniors.
And all four of them were great contributors. At the first of the year, and of course during the off season, I'm sure your top pitcher Reed Jenwright was hurt, so you didn't really get. He never was at full strength the whole year, was he?
Well, he kind of got back into the swing of things near the very end of the year, but I wouldn't ever say that Reed ever got back to the form that he was in the year before, and I attribute a lot of that to his wrist. He's swinging the bat. He swung the bat really well for us.
Won one big game with a 3-run homer.
That's right. That? Absolutely. That was a huge game for us. That actually, that took us on in the playoffs against Lee Scott. That's right. Pitching wise, Reed was big for us all year, regardless of whether Reed's wrist came back, to 100% or not. Reed, you knew what you were going to get from a competitive standpoint from Reed every game.
And of course, Wood, his twin brother, played third base and could do a lot of different things, could play a lot of different positions, and was a very good defensive player.
Very versatile player. You could put Wood out there anywhere and be confident that he was going to get the job done.
Of course, coming into the with Reed being hurt, you had to develop a few more pitchers. Tell us what you did.
Well, you know, with Reed being hurt, that gave a lot of guys some extra opportunities, some opportunities to step up and be able to give us some quality innings and, you know, earn some extra time on the mound. And our guys did a great job of that. Without Reed there, we had some guys really step up and do some things for us that we weren't expecting before the year started, and that was a huge bonus.
The left-handed kid, the Steed kid, gave you some left-handed pitching. Of course, Reed, the left-hander.
That's right.
So you had a couple of left-handed, or 3 left-handed pitchers if you include the 8th grader.
That's right.
And tell us about him.
Oh, he just, you know, he stepped up and did some incredible things at the end of the year. You know, it was a situation where, you know, we knew what Drew's capable of, and we looked to him, bright things for him in the future, but weren't quite sure what we were going to get from him this year. You know, only being in the 8th grade, but, you know, we threw him in some very pressure-filled situations, and he was successful each and every time. And that's, you know, there's not much else you can say about that kid. You know, he came in and got the job done.
And then, of course,
Dad said he's never seen a high school kid be able to pick people off like the Nelson kid.
I just could not get over it.
It's the best pickoff move I've ever seen. It really is.
I'm going to tell you this. Let's tell you a story here. You know, in the Tuscaloosa series, of course, you know, this was not easy. If anybody thinks winning this state championship was easy, they're wrong, because they were good competition from the very beginning. You got a bye, and then you played Lee Scott. You beat them 2 out of 3, and then you have to go to Tuscaloosa, which you're playing at their place, and very good team, I thought.
Absolutely.
I appreciate them more now than even at the game, but how good they were. They were really good, and so you beat a very good team in Tuscaloosa to get to the championship.
That's right.
But what tickled me in the one of the big innings, it looked like Tuscaloosa was going to make a move and pull the thing out right at the end. So he walks the batter. I want to say he walked the batter, and he got him over first base. The first thing he does is pick him off, and then later on he picks another one off. And ladies and gentlemen, if you understand baseball, you know, some people take big leads, you know, leads on first base. Well, let me tell you this: they were taking one step off the bag and holding it. They were that worried about getting picked off.
That's right, and it is what we call in baseball a plus pickoff move.
Yeah.
And you know, that's such a big thing to have, you know, in your repertoire as a pitcher, because, you know, it's guys are gonna get some hits, you're gonna walk some every now and then, but when you have the ability to pick them off when they get to first base, that makes things a lot easier.
Now, the thing that's more impressive than anything is he's an 8th grader. He's 13 or 14 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he's playing with 17, 18-year-old seniors, juniors and seniors, and he doesn't look like it's bothering him one bit.
No, he enjoys the moment. He enjoys the moment. You know, he like I said, when he gets in any situation, doesn't matter what the situation is, you know, he just enjoys being there. And he goes in and throws strikes with 2 pitches and throws it in and out, and you know, that wins games. And he realizes that and does a very good job of it.
So, now he pitched much during the regular season?
Not much. I want to say during the regular season he might have thrown 4 or 5 innings.
Did he play on the junior varsity?
He did. And he was
a very good junior varsity team, but I would think he dominated that, did he?
Yeah, he threw very well in the JV. Yeah. Threw very well in the junior varsity and hit very well in the junior varsity.
Yeah, and of course I know his dad and all his folks were awfully excited to see him come in those big games. It didn't bother you one bit, did it?
No, not one bit. You know, I had all the confidence in the world every time I put him in the game, and knew good things were going to happen for us.
Drew.
So who are your assistant coaches, Coach? Who all helps you out?
I had a great staff this year. You know, I had Doug Price, Ross Hickson, Hunter Mann, Austin. Excuse me, Will Austin, and Chandler Lund. Austin and Chandler both did the JV for us, but would come up and help us with the varsity. But you know, we had the biggest staff we've probably ever had, and which made it a lot easier to do practices and a lot easier during the games to kind of give everybody something to do for us in the dugout. So it was a very good luxury to have on our team.
I know the Allen kid made a lot of great plays on the outfield. Who coaches your outfielders?
Will Austin coaches our outfielders. He played outfield at Southern Union. very fast, does a good job with them, and he had them prepared. You know, that outfield that we played in at Patterson Field was a lot bigger than what we were used to.
Yeah.
And, you know, he did some great things with them in the week leading up to the games to have them prepared for that, and they made some great plays for us, probably some game-saving plays for us.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, there were some big wins down the stretch here. Of course, you beat Lee Scott, your old school, who had a very good team, and you know, had a quite familiar name coaching for them.
That's right.
And you know, former major leaguer.
Tim Hudson.
Tim Hudson, and of course, have you been friends with Tim a long time?
I've known Tim probably for about 6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
and Tim's a great guy. They don't come any better than Tim Hudson.
And he's going to really help that program, don't you think?
I think he will. I think he will. You know, Jim Mixus over there, their head coach, does a great job, and bringing him over or bringing him in to you know, help with that team was a great move. He does a good job with the kids.
No question about it.
Yeah, I was blown away, Coach. I actually went to Lee Scott and saw William Johnson and Coach Maddox, I guess probably about 6 months ago, and I had no clue a private school could have those kind of facilities.
Oh, the facilities are amazing. They are unreal. You know, I had the luxury of playing at Lee Scott, and you know, I've been around the program here and there for the last 4 or 5 years, and you know, when I got done playing pro ball, and it's come so far. You know, they've done an outstanding job with it, and I would put their facilities up against anybody's public or private in the state.
No question about it. And they have a waiting list.
Facilities are like a 3 or 4A school.
Absolutely.
Somebody told me they have 200 student waiting list to go to that school. It's so popular over there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Everybody
that's right.
loves that school. Of course, you know, winning that series was big, and then to go to Tuscaloosa, and your guys spent the night overnight. But you know, of course, you lost first game. Their pitcher pitched a brilliant game. But I thought that by y'all scoring late in the game and getting 4 consecutive hits sort of gave you confidence for the second game. Second game was tied up 4-4, and it went 2 extra innings. And tell us what happened.
I'll tell you, you know, Lee Evans over there at TA does a great job with those guys. I thought that they were definitely one of the top teams we played all year. Very well coached, very scrappy.
Yeah.
You know, threw strikes on the mound, made plays in the field. I mean, they just did a great job. You know, for us, like you said, getting those 4 hits in the end of the first game was really big for us. That gave us a little confidence going into game 2. And you know, game two was just a bulldog. I mean, it was a fight. It was a fight, and you know, for us, it was great for us to come out on top. We did some things in the second game that we weren't able to do in the first game, and I believe that you know, I believe the second game, winning that tight game, also really helped us going into the state championship, because we hadn't played a game 3 in 2 years, and playing that game 3 really gave us confidence that we could go to a game 3 and win it. So playing that game 3, you know, helped us in the state championship, and and obviously that game 2 win, you know, extended our season. But I was very proud of our kids and how they persevered and played hard and finished the game.
And then came back the next day and on a hot, beautiful facility though, but it was hot, man, I tell you. And your guys, you went ahead and started the young 8th grader, and he was brilliant.
He was, and I think our guys came out very comfortable and relaxed in game 3. You know, and got back to playing the game the way we were accustomed to playing it. And you know, for us that was huge. And Drew came out and set the tone. You know, we got a couple of hits, and then Drew came up and put up a 0 in the bottom of the first, and things kind of rolled from there. And that's so big when you're able to do that. And our guys just did a great job of showing up on
and
game
then
3.
you know, Drew ran out of innings, and yet bring in Renfro, and all he did was strike out the side, or struck out 2 out of 3, and was outstanding for you in that big victory.
How does that work during the season, Coach, in private school? Did you play all these teams already?
We had played TA. We had played TA in our tournament. We hadn't seen Glenwood. You know, we played Lee Scott and TA both, but you know, they're you know,
somebody wanted to tell me they ducked y'all. They ducked you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. You know, I don't really foresee. I don't see Glenwood ducking anybody.
No, I don't either.
Glenwood,
I don't either.
They played an extremely tough schedule every single year. You know, TA, we played them twice during the regular season. We played Lee Scott twice. You know, TA always comes to our tournament. You know, I think
that was the deal. They didn't come to your tournament.
That's right.
Like
and
that.
We split with TA during the regular season, so we knew going up to Tuscaloosa that it was going to be an extremely tough matchup. And the same thing, with Lee Scott. Yeah. We had 2 competitive games with Lee Scott, so you know, our road to the state championship was definitely not an easy one.
I don't want to be negative about anything because everything was positive, but when you got to that ballpark, you saw how tall that mountain was. You've been in baseball all your life, Have you ever seen a mound that tall?
I have not. I have not. That mound is impressive.
I mean, I know it, but well, I mean, did that bother you because you know, it was an advantage to them to practice on that mound?
That's
and
right.
Here you are. You seem like if you fell off the mound, you break your neck.
I'm gonna tell you, well, we couldn't. The one problem with us is we couldn't simulate it during the week of practice. There's no way to simulate a mound that tall.
Did anybody tell you about that?
Oh yeah, I knew about it.
You
We
knew
actually
about it?
we actually took our pitchers over to Troy and threw a couple of bullpens over there to get ready for that
That was
series.
smart.
The problem was, you know, for our hitters, we weren't used to the ball coming from that angle.
That's right.
And it was difficult for us. If you notice in the first game,
That's right.
we hit a ton of ground balls.
Sure did,
'cause
a
we were
bunch.
hitting, that's right. We were hitting the top of the baseball. And game 2 and 3, we actually started to adjust a little bit. But game 1 was definitely a struggle for us in that area. And it's definitely a home field advantage. That's for sure.
Then, of course, winning the game. Of course, we brought the game to you live on Troy Cable Vision and on Facebook across the whole country, ladies and gentlemen, live. And we got so much response, Coach. Over 3,000 hits on that ball game. That people watching you all over the country, and of course Troy Cable was there to bring you those great games. And then, of course, on to Montgomery for the championship and against Glenwood. Now, I've just got to say this. You know, of course, I love Patterson Field, and the field was in great shape. The press box was nice. We got up there. There was a bunch of Columbus, Georgia people there, writers and all that. And you would have thought that they had already won the trophy, Coach. And then y'all go and knock them off two games in a row.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Glenwood is a school that's got unbelievable tradition. You know, they've won so many state titles. Tim Fanning has built an unbelievable program over there. You know, year in and year out, they're there with an opportunity to win. You know, his kids play hard for him every single year. So, you know, for those guys, I'm sure it was, you know, foregone conclusion that they were going to win the state championship. Yeah. And, you know, for us, we had a mentality that we were going to come in there. You know, our kids wanted to play Glenwood. You know, we didn't want Monroe to beat Glenwood. We wanted Glenwood to win because we wanted another shot at them. And, you know, our kids were ready for them. Yeah. And I think we just came in there and played extremely hard.
You went into that series, I want to say 36-5. Correct me if I'm wrong, 36-5. You ended up being 37 or 38-5. They came in 38-5, and they ended up 38-7. Two pretty evenly matched teams.
I agree.
There was no question that those were the best two teams in the schools. I would put Tuscaloosa though a close second, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. They were definitely a close second, if not, you know, right there tied with them. I mean,
all of these guys had a great tournament, but I'm gonna go from first to second. First all the way around the horn. Max Copeland got hurt in Tuscaloosa, and you were concerned about it, but it turned out he was. Tell us about him, Coach.
Well, Max is a very tough kid.
He's a junior or a sophomore?
He's a junior. He's a junior. He's an extremely tough kid. You know, he's our spark plug. Yeah. You know, he's our energy. Excuse me. So when he got hurt in the first Tuscaloosa game, that kind of took the air out of ourselves a little bit. And you know, for him to come back in game 2, and he didn't play, but just for him to have his presence in the dugout was huge. And he's done it for us all year long. He's provided that energy, and it was huge to get him back.
Trevor Barron, and ladies and gentlemen, he was named the most valuable player in the championship series. Tell us about him, Coach.
Trevor is, you know, Trevor plays the game the right way. That's all you can say about Trevor. He comes and he works extremely hard in practice every single day. You know, the effort, you know exactly what you're going to get from him every time he shows up to the ballpark. And that MVP was very deserving. Trevor's a great player. Trevor's a great leader for us, and I was very proud of him.
I think it stunned a lot of people because, you know, if you looked at his stats, it would talk for itself because he hit the ball, he defended extremely well, just played very, very good in that
very
tournament.
Clutch player.
Of course, Nate Renfro played your shortstop and also helped you out on the mound.
That's right. You know, Nate was big for us all year long. You know, we only had Nate for 1 year. I wish I would have had him his entire career. Nate's a great player. You know, he's a great two-way player. He's good on the mound. He's good hitting the baseball. He's good in the field. You know, so Nate coming over for us was very big for us. You know, when we got to the playoffs,
came over from Brantley, a pretty good program.
Great program. And you know, the thing a lot of people don't realize about Nate is Nate was one of our top pitchers during the year and didn't throw that much during the playoffs. You know, we had some guys step up, but when we brought Nate in, you could see that he was somebody that could step on the mound anytime and help us out.
Wood Jenright over at third.
Oh yeah, Wood's done it now for years. Wood is the best third baseman I've ever coached. You know, he's.
Well, that says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He made a Brooks Robinson play. You remember that play,
absolutely.
don't you? Boy,
Absolutely.
I mean that diving play. That was that's a highlight film.
That's right.
Play.
And you know the thing about Wood is that's normal for him. You know, he's done it. He's done his entire career. You know, swinging the bat, he's gotten some big hits for us in his career, and really he's done some good things for us on the mound. So Wood is one of those that's definitely going to be missed.
No question about it. In left field, Kason Murphy, boy, he might not have been a great at-bat guy, but defensively, he's one of the best I've ever seen.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Kason probably saved that series for us against Glenwood. You know, he made a great play in left field. He made a play going into the gap and dove and caught it, and then jumped up real fast and doubled the guy up at second base. And
that was a highlight film at any level.
That's right, and it was a momentum shifter. You know, that was one of those times where, you know, a big hit for them gets the ball rolling for them, and they might string off 2 or 3 hits, but getting that double play right there, you know,
but it
kind of
wasn't
put it
just the championship game. That outfield was impressive the entire series. I mean, I've never seen an outfield of Hollis, Murphy, and Davis. Allen being so outstanding. They really
made some great plays. You know, our outfield was huge for us during the entire playoff series, but they were really huge for us the entire year. It's great having, you know, with Cody as the catalyst in center field, but it's great having so much speed in the outfield. Not a lot of balls fell all year.
How good is Kobe Hollis? Speed, and he made things happen.
Absolutely. You know, not only on defense, he's a great center fielder, but he's also our leadoff man.
How about that dive and catch he made less than a foot off the ground? Now, who would have ever even thought he could get to that ball?
Well, a lot of people, you know, if you haven't seen him play before, then yes, you think that's a great play, but like I said, for us, that's routine. You know, we expect that from him every single day. He's done it all year long. He's done it his entire career, and Cody's a great player. And,
of course, Davis, to me, is one of the fine young players. Only a sophomore can run. And tell us about him, Coach.
Well, Davis, you know, Davis is just a sophomore, and you know, he came in this year and stepped up and did some really good things for us. He pretty much batted in the 2-hole for us all year long, and you know, made some great plays in the outfield. So, you know, Davis was one of those who stepped in and filled a hole for us that we need to fill, and did a great job doing that.
He's got a chance at a real outstanding career, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
And can run and can do it all, no question about it. And, you know, it didn't just happen. Everybody said, gosh, that's the best fielding outfield I've ever seen. I mean, they're running down everything. Nothing's dropping. And even, Coach, the balls they didn't get to, they held them to a single. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, it was just unreal the way your team played. But I hear, you after talking to you, that y'all coach that every day. You've got a coach that it's like going out for passes in football. You're hitting the ball and making them run under it in baseball.
That's right. You know, Coach Austin does a great job with our outfielders. Like we talked about yesterday, what he does a lot of times with them is before we get started with practice, you know, they'll run pass routes. You know, they'll run pass routes, and he'll throw the ball to them in the gaps and work on catching the ball over each shoulder, and you know, that it makes a huge difference when they get into the games. Makes it a lot easier for them.
Okay, the catcher, of course, you know, he was just really outstanding. McWhorter, only a sophomore, Coach.
Cole throws the baseball behind the plate better than any kid I've ever seen at that age, by far. You know, he's getting better at blocking.
His dad did the same thing growing up.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Rob was a great catcher behind the dish.
And you know, and Ross Jenright, the Jenright twins' dad was also an outstanding player at Troy. You know,
that's exactly right.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And you know, Cole stepped up. He was huge for us all year long. You know, he shut down the entire base running game for other teams. And, you know, as a pitcher, that's very comforting, knowing they're not going to steal on you. And as a coach, that's very comforting, knowing that if they steal, usually it's an out. Yeah. And not only that, but Cole swung the bat for us great all year long. So, you know, Cole just had an outstanding season for us.
He had a home run in the Lee Scott series, 400, 425 at least. I mean, he had tremendous power.
He's got that kind of power.
And he's going to be a lot bigger than he is now. I'd say, 190 now probably.
That's right.
And I could see him being 210, 215
Absolutely.
by the time he's a senior.
Absolutely. He's still got room to grow.
And I know you're excited about having him next couple of years. Very excited. Of course, on the mound, Reed Jenright. Now, let me just say this about Reed. He seems, you know, every team's got to have a leader. He seems like Reed was the leader on this team. Am I right?
Yes, Reed was the leader this year. You know, but you know, it wasn't just Reed. We had great senior leadership, period.
And Wood, and you know, too. But Reed just sort of a take charge type guy. It seems like.
Well, Reed's done it for us now for 3 years.
Yeah.
And you know, Reed's been that guy to step up and get the big hit, throw the big game. And, you know, Reed's done a great job of that for us, you know, for the last 3 years. So this year was nothing new. You know, he had a little setback with the injury, but we knew as soon as we got him back, we were really going to take off, and we did. And, you know, he was a huge part of that.
And then, of course, Steed came off the bench and helped you at first base when Copeland got hurt.
That's right.
You know, filled in very nicely. And then, of course, our little left-handed pitcher, of course, Steed is going to be an outstanding pitcher,
too.
Oh,
absolutely.
I mean, he's got he's going to be big.
That's right.
And strong.
Holt's going to have a great career.
You're going to have fun working with him.
Oh, absolutely. Holt's upside is huge. You know, he can throw 3 or 4 pitches for a strike, and he gets up there and competes. So we're very excited about the potential of Holt Steed.
Maybe if you had to name one player that came through when you needed him the most, was Sykes, your pitcher, who pitched the second game, brilliant sixth-inning game. I think it allowed only just a few hits, but something like just 2 runs.
That's right. And Jade, that's the best I've ever seen Jade throw in Game 2 of that Tuscaloosa game. You know, his velocity was great. He was throwing the breaking ball for a strike, throwing the changeup for a strike, and he just got up there and competed. And, you know, that's the kind of potential that Jade has, and that's what we expect out of him every single game.
Only a junior, and, of course, probably going to be the quarterback on the football team, too. And this guy's a good athlete, and is going to be an outstanding pitcher for us.
That's right.
His curveball, you know, you said it in an interview, is a big-time curveball.
That's right.
Everybody don't have a big-time curveball. What's the difference for this guy?
I'm going to tell you what, he gets on top of the baseball, and the curveball, he just throws it really hard. You don't find a lot of guys try to take velocity off of that pitch. Well, he doesn't. He keeps his arm speed stays the same. He gets on top of it, and it is in baseball, it's what we call a hammer. Yeah. And you know, that's a great luxury to have.
Are you an outstanding pitcher? You have a lot of knowledge of pitching. Now, will you work with these guys this summer? I mean, you could put together a staff with Steed, a little left-hander, Drew Nelson. I'm so sorry, Drew Nelson, and Sykes. That's 3 top-notch pitchers there, and I'm sure you've probably got a few more.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of guys that we expect a lot of things out of in the upcoming years. Those 3, you know, obviously those 3, and we expect to have a great staff every year. You know, we've got arms coming up from the JV. We've just got a lot of arms. And
your JV, what was their record, Coach?
You know, I'm not sure what their record is. I know they
want to say 29-2 or 30-2.
I think it was either 29 or 30-2. One of the two.
30-2. Coach, you're building a factory, Coach.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's, you know, your JV is a great. It's great to have that as a feeder program, and Coach Austin does an outstanding job with those guys. And you know, Coach Valdez did a great job with them the previous couple of years. And you know, we just got a good feeder program. Our kids just love baseball, and it makes it a lot easier when they get up to the varsity
Coach,
level.
So many things to say about you. So many superlatives with this championship, and there's going to be a big parade tonight in downtown Troy. Tell us about it, Coach.
Well, I think we're gonna meet on the square, and you know, it's great that
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Mayor Reeves invited us down there, and we're very excited about the opportunity to go down and you know, just kind of get around the community.
What time is that gonna be?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, and that'll be a lot of fun to be downtown and celebrate this great victory with the Pike Liberal Arts Patriots winning the 3A state championship. Of course, going into the game, Glenwood had won 2 consecutive championships. And last year, y'all lost a heartbreaker to them, or you would have won the championship. And it was something about your motto was finish, and you did that.
That's
you
right.
Finished.
That's right. That was our motto coming into this year. You know, our season really began last year after the last pitch. You know, our guys said they were tired of seeing guys dogpile in front of them, and they wanted to do something about it, and they worked extremely hard to get back there and change the script.
On a personal level, what did it mean to you to see those kids jumping all over each other? The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That's what it was all about.
That's right. And you know, when you have an opportunity or you have a situation like we had when we lost to Glenwood, you know, you learn from your failures. I know that I learned some things from those defeats, and I know that our kids did also. So to see them come back and bounce back and change things around and have their opportunity to go out there and dogpile and celebrate, I can't tell you, it meant the world to me.
Yeah. Coach, I'm going to throw it out again. I know it's been hit you hard. But to go with the 8th grader with having in a situation where you went with him in Tuscaloosa and in Montgomery, took a lot of toughness on your part, but it took a lot of believing. that was one of your mottos. You want your players to believe that they're the best. Is that right?
That's right. I want our kids to not only have confidence in themselves, but I want them to have confidence in one another. You know, if you're going to have a successful team, they've got to believe in each other. And this team did that. It didn't matter from all the way from the seniors to our 8th grader. They believed in one another. We believed that anybody that we put in those situations was going to get the job done and be successful.
Coach, I got to walk around a little bit at your school yesterday, and boy, what a wonderful place that is. I mean, the kids that from the very little ones on up.
Has it changed a little bit when you're the head football coach out there?
Oh yeah, it's changed quite a bit, no question about it. But I tell you what, they've got it going in the right direction. What is your feeling about Pike Liberal Arts School?
I think we've definitely got to go in the right direction. You know, our athletics there, we're successful in everything that we do over there, and you know, I think that's just going to continue. I think we're going to continue to grow, and I think we're going to continue to get better.
And of course, I'm sure there'll be people knocking on your door and say, "Can we come play for you?" What's the deal there?
Well, I mean, that's always a plus. You know, when you're successful, I believe that gets kids to want to come play for you and be successful. Also, you know, we had 3 kids signed to play college baseball this year, and that's also a plus. And
that was the Jenwright twins, Wood and Reed, and along with Nate Renfro, going to play for what I call one of the best junior college programs in the nation.
No doubt about it. You know, Coach Jabbo has done an outstanding job with that program. Yeah. He's built it up to what it is now, and I definitely consider it one of the top programs in the nation.
Well, what do you do now, man? Relax for a little while.
That's
graduation at Pike Liberal Arts is Thursday night.
And,
and I know you're excited about that. And then you're going to take a little time off?
I am, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not excited about graduation because the seniors I've got graduating, it's going to be a very sad night.
Only 4, but there were 4 that really meant a lot to your team. And, you know, but you know, I can almost get emotional about this. But you take Casey Murphy. Casey Murphy, not a big guy, but and not the fastest guy in the world, but pretty fast. But when 15, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, he can say, "I contributed big in a state championship victory." And that picture and the tape that you have of the games and so forth will live on with these men, and their grandchildren will one day see it.
That's right, and that's what I tried to stress to our kids before the year started. You know, I was fortunate enough to win a state championship at Lee Scott in high school, and I told these kids it's the best feeling. You know, it's the best feeling you'll ever have on a baseball field, and you know, I wanted them to have the opportunity to experience that this year, and it's just like you said, they'll remember that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been so great talking to you. I tell you, you know, I haven't been around you much, but I'm gonna just tell you the last few days that we've been around each other, I tell you, I've really learned to appreciate you even more as an individual, and of course your maturity and what you mean to these kids. They'll always remember Coach Alan Ponder.
I appreciate it.
Taking them to the state championship, and of course you feel like that next year's going to be just as good, don't you think?
I do. I feel like you know, our kids that are coming up, you know, all the way. I feel like all the way from the elementary right now. I feel like we've got a great run of talent coming through.
And I'm sure Glenwood's got a bunch of signs around their place that, hey, it won't happen again. There, it won't happen again.
That's right. I'm sure they do. You know, Glenwood expects to be there every single year, and you know, I'm sure they expect to be there again next year, and so do we.
Yeah.
You know, and it would be if we both get there again, it'll be another great series.
Ladies and gentlemen,
were you surprised when you moved to Troy? I'm just curious to realize what a crazy baseball town Troy's become. I mean, Troy wasn't like this in the late '90s.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is all like the last I guess 8 or 9 years.
You know, it's great.
And the rec ball and the travel teams have helped these players mature and
that's right. That's right. Troy is definitely a baseball town, and it makes it a lot of fun to coach here. It makes it a lot of fun to live here if you're a baseball coach. And I've enjoyed it. I thoroughly have enjoyed it. And like I said, our kids are crazy about baseball, and they play it. And you know, but the great thing about our kids is that, you know, most of our kids are 3-sport athletes. You know, so while they really look forward to baseball, they also compete in the other 2 sports. So it's nice having a group of competitors that enjoy all 3.
Let me say one last thing to you. Troy and Auburn go at it at 6, and I know that sort of excites you a little bit. You grew up around Auburn, being from the Auburn-Opelika area, and then of course you played at Alabama, and of course you had a very good career there until you got hurt. How do you feel about tonight's game?
I think the Trojans are going to win tonight. I think the Trojans are going to win
tonight. Troy's got a good program, don't they?
Troy's got a great program. Troy's got an outstanding program, and they've had a very good season. I think, you know, they've been extremely strong in the midweek games. I believe the only games they've lost have been SEC games in the midweek.
That's right.
I think tonight we get over that hump and we beat an SEC team.
That's going to be fun. Mike?
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mike.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more of Today in L.A. after this. Thank you, Coach Ponder.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line that we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, we offer dental, we offer disability, we offer vision, we offer life insurance, cancer insurance. We also have a 401k where we match up to 4%, dollar per dollar up to 4%. We also have automatic trucks at Wiley Sanders Truck Line. If you go to a truck driving school, we'll reimburse you. And don't forget about the $1,000 sign-on bonus. Money! Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We help you save for your future.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Queson to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how. Napa know-how.
Back to our show, and I hope you enjoyed that interview like I did. Hey, if he's not a Hall of Famer, you know, he's a Hall of Famer on and off the field. That guy is quite a man and quite a young man, and Pike Liberal Arts is so fortunate to have a young man like this running their program in baseball. And Butch Austin, none any better than him, would probably say the same thing, that this is one of the bright young coaches in America. I'm telling you, at any level, I'm telling you, he is a outstanding young man and loves to coach kids, and is a great example for kids, a great role model for kids. He's the kind of people we need teaching our kids. He's tough, he's hard-nosed as anybody. But you know what? When they need a hug, they're gonna get a hug. When they don't need a hug, they're gonna be looked at in a stern manner. He does it the right way. He's a man of faith. He's a man of character. I can't say enough about this young man. He is really outstanding, and I've been around a lot of folks, and I put him right up there with them because he is really something else. And again, congratulations to Pike Liberal Arts School winning the championship. They're going to have their big graduation coming up this this Thursday. So you folks that support Pike Liberal Arts, get out and support these kids. Of course, I want to mention again, Charles Henderson of Troy is on the football field tomorrow night from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Troy with a big game between Charles Henderson of Troy and Early County, Georgia. And I know a lot of folks that came out of that area and of Georgia. And let me tell you this, when it comes to football, high school football, Georgia stands in there with the Floridas, the Californias, the Alabamas, and the Louisianas. Has been one of the best places in the country to play high school football. Of course, again, Goshen is going to go at it Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock from Veterans Stadium. Hope that a lot of folks from Goshen will come up for that game. Of course, all these games are sponsored by Troy Cablevision. And then the Luverne Tigers Thursday night at 6 o'clock against the Hopeful Bulldogs, and that should be a good one. And my good buddy over at Luverne, who I think is another one of the great young coaches around, he'll have his team ready, I promise you. And then, of course, Greenville High School comes to town against Choctawhatchee High School of Fort Walton Beach. I don't know if they're the team they used to be, but they'll be competitive, and it should be a good game at 3 o'clock on Friday. Then the Enterprise Wildcats come in here Friday night, and usually they bring their band. I hope they'll bring their band to this game against Stanhope Elmore. The Prize will be back, and of course their young coach is a good one, and that should be a good game at 6 o'clock. We'll be televising most all these games. Saturday there's a triple hitter, or triple header, as they say in baseball. Not a double hitter, but a double header. Well, this is a triple header for the first game between Wetumpka High School of Wetumpka, Alabama, and the Robert E. Lee Generals of Montgomery. They go at it at 11:30. Opelika, the Bulldogs, go up against Niceville, Florida. Of course, Niceville in the Fort Walton area, and big school down there. So that Opelika-Niceville game at 3 o'clock should be a good one. And we'll cap it all off Saturday night at Veterans Memorial Stadium when the Hoover Buccaneers, the defending state champion, goes up against Brookwood, Georgia of Atlanta. So that should be a great game. All these games will be played at the stadium, Veterans Memorial Stadium, and can be seen on Troy Cable Channel 2 and also on Facebook across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the hits that we got nationwide and worldwide were phenomenal on these baseball tournaments. But the biggest hits that we got, we had over 3,000 hits from Utah when we had these the Mormon missionaries on our show, these two lovely girls. Well, there were over 3,000 hits on our show that day, and a lot of them are from Utah, and a lot of them had comments and were very nice comments, and we enjoyed that very much. But also during the football games and baseball games, or during the baseball games, we also had several hits on Facebook and YouTube across the country. So if you're watching from somewhere away from here, the telephone number on your screen is 670-0052, 670-0052. Call me wherever you're at right now at area code 334-670-0052. It'd be very interesting to know where some of our viewers are coming from. But hey, it's getting to be bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to say during the baseball tournaments, it was over 7,000 hits. A lot of those were local, but a lot of those were from all over the country that are just on their computers or their telephones, and they're looking up Facebook, and they're going across the country. What is the biggest hits that we've had so far, Steve? On some of our telecasts.
We had about 5,000.
Had 5,000. What now?
About 9,000 total.
9,000 total for the baseball series, which that is saying a lot right there. I know a lot of people have come up to me and telling me how much they enjoyed the telecast live on Troy Cable, and again, it was a lot of fun. And again, Troy Cable is moving strongly toward being able to bring you games live from all over this part of the country. And we appreciate Steve Camp and all the great work that he and his staff does here. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut it a little short today. I got a little visit I got to make to have a test or two run. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed today's show, and you'll watch us again today at 1:30. This was a great interview with an outstanding young coach, Alan Ponder, the head baseball coach at Pike Liberal Arts School. Again, we'll see you tomorrow bright and early for Today in LA. See you at the Auburn-Troy game tonight. need to fill that up tonight. Go ahead and buy your tickets early and get out and enjoy tailgating before the game and have a great time at a Troy-Auburn baseball game tonight, starting at 6 o'clock from Riddle Pace Field right here in Troy. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.